Hello everyone, welcome to LearnDax channel. My name is Siddesh and in this video we are going to take a look at the concept of rolling sum in Power BI. So rolling sum is not a concept which is particular to Power BI. What we are trying to do here is, so for example, we have the quantity column in this sales table in which the first row shows quantity as 5, the second row shows quantity as 3, the third row shows 2, and the fourth row shows 4, and so on and so forth. So when I'm going to try to calculate the cumulative or the rolling sum, it should give me 5 in the first row, 5 plus 3, which is 8 in the second row, 5 plus 3 plus 2, which is 10 in the third row, 5 plus 3 plus 2 plus 4 in the fourth row, which is 14. So how do I achieve that in Power BI using DAX? So the formula for this is something that I just looked up on the internet and I'm just trying to break down how that formula works and how we achieve this particular result. So the formula for that is first we declare a reference date which is going to be the maximum sales date in our sales table, and then we are going to calculate the sales quantity given that the condition is we are going to filter the sales table such that the sales date has to be less than the reference date. So now why do we use the all function? Because we want to negate any filter that can be applied outside of this particular table. So if I use any slicer on the sales table, we want to negate all the effects of any slices that come from the external context. So for that reason, we are using the all function. And why are we using the filter function is because we want to feed a table to the sumx function, because sumx operates on two arguments. The first is the table and the second is the expression. So this is the table that we are going to pass to the sumx function, and this is the expression. That is, we want to accumulate the sales quantity on our consecutive rows as we move along, iterate along each row. So in order to explain this, what I've done is I'm again using Excel. So I'm going to simplify this iteration by iteration, how it's going to work. So let's start with the filter function. So the filter function is going to iterate row by row and it's going to check if the condition which is this, the sales date is less than or equal to reference date, and if it returns true, it's going to kind of append until all iterations are done and present us with a table or present the sumx function with a table. So when it is done with all the iterations, it if our table is only consisting of 4 rows, then it is going to eventually give us this particular table which is has these 4 rows, and the corresponding quantities are 5, 3, 2, and 4. So now this table is going to be fed to our sumx function. Okay, so far so good. In the first iteration, the sumx is going to go to the first row, which is this row, and is going to check the quantity. The expression is we are going to accumulate the quantity. So it is going to check the quantity. So in the first iteration, the sumx function has found that the quantity is 5. Now, once the first iteration is done, it is going to move to the second iteration. So in the second iteration, it sees the quantity as 3. But because we are accumulating the value, it is the sumx function. So it is going to also keep the value from the first iteration intact and add over this value 3, effectively making it as 8 in the second iteration. And as it moves towards the third iteration, again, we have the value as 2, but it is going to take the value from the previous iteration. As we are using sumx, it is going to accumulate and give us the value as 2 plus 8, which is 10. And the similar thing happens in the fourth iteration. Sumx goes to the fourth row, sees the value of quantity as 4, but it is carrying over the value from the previous iteration, adds this value in the current iteration, and gives us the value as 14. So what's happening in a nutshell is, initially we have this particular we have this particular condition that, hey, use this table and negate all the filter contexts that are active from outside or in this particular table using the all function, and give me true or return the value if the sales date is less than or equal to the reference date. So which is essentially telling Power BI that when I come to the first row and when I check that the 1st May 2024 is less than 20th of May 2024, then return me that value or populate that table. And it does so for all the rows in this table negating any other filters, which is why we are using all, and it comes right down to this last row, which is the 20th of May 2024. And once it has created that table, it has to feed that value to the sumx function. In order to simplify this, what we have done is in Excel, we have just taken four values from that table and we stop at four iterations. So let's say if our last sale date happened on the 4th of May 2024, then this is the table that we have effectively, which is being fed to the sumx function. And when sumx starts iterating, in the first iteration, it sees that the quantity is 5 and it takes the value as 5. When it goes to the second iteration, it sees the quantity as 3, and now the sumx is going to accumulate. That's what sumx does. It is going to accumulate the value from the first iteration, add the value that it sees in the second iteration, and give out the value as 8. Then again, during the third iteration, when it comes to the third row, which is the 3rd of May 2024, it sees the value as 2, adds the value from the previous iteration, makes it 10, and again, it goes to the last iteration, sees the value as 4, and adds the value 4 to its previous iteration and makes it 14. And that's how it keeps accumulating the values, keeps adding the values, and gives us the final output. So this is how internally we are using filter and sumx and the variable to create a rolling sum. And if you view the output, this is exactly what we are getting. So in the first row we have 5, in the second we have 3, in the third we have 2, in the fourth we have 4. And in the output we see 5, 8, 10, and 14. So once again, let's take a look at the formula of rolling sum. So where we first declare a max sales date, and then we declare that, okay, I want to create a table, but negate all the filters. And when it is going to iterate row by row, it is going to check that, okay, in the first row, the date is 1st of May. Is it less than or equal to 20th of May? Yes, it is. So please keep populating that table until you reach to the end of this condition. Keep populating that table. And once you have created this particular table, once you have created this particular table, now the job of sumx is now to iterate over these particular rows one by one. So it goes first row, second row, third row, and keeps stacking the values on top of the other, and that's how it reaches to the output. So this is what I wanted to explain with this video, how rolling sum works. If you find any value from this video, please share it with your friends. If you feel that there are gaps in this explanation or you need further explanation, please leave your thoughts in the comments. If you liked anything in this video, also please let me know. And like I say at the end of every video, happy learning and thanks for watching.